Howdy, my name is JB Sauceda, and as you may have figured out, I'm the new host of Texas Country Reporter. For 52 years, TCR has traveled the back roads of Texas to highlight ordinary Texans doing extraordinary things. And that won't be changing even with the change of host. Now, it's hard to overstate how immensely thankful I am to be in this position. And Bob Phillips told me that this would be the best job I've ever had, and so far, he's been absolutely right. Now, I know you might be curious, how does somebody come up with a job like this? Well, I grew up in LaPorte, raised by two amazing parents, Juan and Les, who were born in San Benito and Carrizo Springs. My upbringing was influenced by the Gulf Coast, where I spent most of my time, country albums we'd listen to on Friday nights, and all of the wonderful people that live on that hard-working side of Houston. I've done a lot in my career to make a living. I waited tables, power washed driveways, worked in advertising, started the Texas Humor brand, and even built a warehousing business with my wife Priscilla. But of all the ways I've made a living, it was my time as a photographer that brought me the most joy. I photographed cowboys, athletes, families, and characters, each with their own incredible stories. But it was an aerial project that I shot in 2015 that landed me right here. I just got my pilot's license and thought I could probably fly around the world, my world at least. So I did. I flew a plane all the way around the border of Texas and photographed it from the air. It took 36 hours over the course of 6 days. I saw the mountains of Big Bend and the plains of the Panhandle. I saw families swimming in the last rays of sunlight on South Padre and sailors navigating the Port of Houston. From that point on, I was determined to spend the rest of my life sharing the beauty of Texas with the world. As luck would have it, last year I got a phone call from folks at TCR who let me know that the host would be passing the keys to a new storyteller. And they asked if I was interested in tossing my hat in the ring for consideration. I sure did. And after a summer of interviews and waiting patiently, I got the phone call that changed my life and brought me to tears. I've been picked to sit in this seat right here. Since then, the response has been overwhelming. Folks have extended plenty of handshakes, backslaps, well wishes, and more than a few reminders that I've got plenty big shoes to fill. Boy, do I know it. So here I am, and here's this show that many of us have grown up watching. It's a big, beautiful love letter to Texas that reminds us of something that we all know deep in our hearts, that Texas is an amazing place to live thanks to the landscape and the people who make it so. This is TCR's 53rd season, and our journey down the back roads will be full of all kinds of amazing moments and memories that we can't wait to share with you, much like these. If we were paying attention.
You wouldn't think that this is in this part of the country, would you?
There you go, brother.
We've got a lot of ground to cover this season, the first of many that I hope you'll hop in and travel with me. My name is JB Sauceda, and this is Texas Country Reporter.
From the rugged landscapes of westerns old and new, to the intricate sets of silver screen blockbusters, horses have galloped gracefully through the frames of countless TV shows and movies since the dawn of cinema. But most directors and producers in the film industry only know how to wrangle a crew of cameramen and not a cast of critters. So when Hollywood needs horses, they place a call to Marathon, Texas, and ask for a man by the name of Craig Carter.
When they're doing a film and it calls for animals, you need
you need somebody that kind of knows their way around that. So there's professional coordinators, animal coordinators, wranglers, that they can be the liaison between the animal and the production. So if you're our producer and the script calls for a bear, you know, I'm not a bear handler, but I know who to call to facilitate that. You know, I would say that livestock would be my forte, but we get to do all kinds of stuff, from ants to African frogs to lions and tigers to ostriches.
Before Craig took the reins of animal wrangling, he found himself performing overseas, touring with legends like Johnny Rodriguez, and making a name for himself with his music. But his time spent on the family's dude ranch never left him. And when Craig discovered a new career path on an acting gig, he decided to take the trail less trodden.
We used to meet at a bend in the river on the banks of the old Rio Grande. I've had a little minor music career, and so I would take acting lessons to try to be able to converse with you on a show like this or a radio interview, and got a few little acting jobs. And from being on camera, I saw that there was always 5 to 10 jobs off camera. And kind of put it together that maybe my horse background, my Western background, could work in the film industry, and so but it kind of developed from that.
Craig's job title has changed over the years, from wrangler to animal coordinator, but his reputation in the industry hasn't. He's worked on over 100 productions, such as Hunger Games, No Country for Old Men, 12 Years a Slave, and The Leftovers, just to name a few. But for Craig, success isn't measured by box office numbers. It's measured by how much he was able to push the boundaries of artistic expression.
To me, it doesn't matter the size or scope of the film, but trying to capture what's written. You know, I like to write myself, and trying to make that come off the page and be seen and heard from. I enjoy that process. It makes me feel like I've got a little artistic part of that. You might be on a scout and your director say, I need to put a horse on that roof, or any other kind of animal. And you know, when you start out, or when I started out, I'm like, why? Now I start looking at the support of the roof. How are we gonna lift it? Mm-hmm. And which animal are we gonna choose to put there? Mm-hmm. So it's fun and challenging.
For most of his childhood, Craig traversed the Chizos Mountains on horseback, getting to know what being a true cowboy looked like and meant. So aside from the safety and care of the animals on set, honoring the lifestyle and image of cattlemen across the world is something he regards with utmost importance. And while visiting his ranch out in Big Bend country, I couldn't help but hop up on the saddle to get a few tips for myself.
All right, let's go for a little ride, won't you?
Let's do it.
As we go up this hill, you're gonna lean forward a little bit. All right, you good? Here we go. Let's say you're the actor. Well, how many guys and gals these days get to wear a pistol? You know, our goal is to make you look right and do the right things. I mean, you know, a lot of folks might watch the show and not know the difference, but we do. And so we want it to be as right as possible. There you go. Stay right up here with me. Yeah.
The mystique of Western culture is a thing that's like pervasive around the world. I mean, it's like there's this, you know, love for the lore. And what does it mean to you to represent that and to play a role in how it's portrayed?
Well, I don't know if I can get it into words, JB, but it's a very important question, and it's something I think about a lot. And it's a way of life. And I would do my damnedest to represent that in the proper way. And it's nothing special, but the culture, the people I've gotten to be around is strongly important.
If you look through the twinkling lights of Tinseltown, Craig Carter's dedication to accuracy shines through. On set, he's not just an animal wrangler, he's a steward of cowboy traditions, ensuring that every A-list actor donning a Stetson or riding a saddlebred embodies the spirit of the West with integrity.
I'd never call myself a cowboy. I get to be around some. But I like everything there is to do with a horse, okay? It's a special feeling, nothing better. What I get to do is for me, phenomenal. Jokingly, not so jokingly, say I never had to grow up. Get to work in film and television and get to play a little music and get to live here. This is a life. Being around the Western world, being around horses, and you know, I'm slower than I used to be, but I'm still around, and I'll do it until it's time to be done.
Start from the beginning of the show, so let's take this off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You stage right.
Right center, please. We have our annual musical, and it is a season. We start typically in October, do auditions. It culminates in our musical production that we do 2 weekends, last weekend in January, first weekend in February. Right now there are about 120 cast and crew, so on stage, working backstage, on stage, and then about 30 student musicians in the pit.
There's a tempest of activity in my hometown on the southeast side of Houston, as there's much to do about something at Porte High School. Months of work, decades of tradition will soon culminate in a midwinter night's stream for director Andrea Angelo.
We do 9 performances. This year we're doing Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. It's a really funny book, but the kids are really, really loving it.
She spent months rallying this ensemble of not only students, but other teachers, parents, and volunteers. Here in LaPorte, it takes a village to raise a curtain.
And then how many volunteers?
Ooh, wow. I think probably close to 25 this year, maybe 30. There are a lot of people that just kind of, whenever they're in town, they drop by because they know we're going to be here working, and they come and help.
I'm on that list.
For an hour or two.
Come just grab some hugs. And...
What are y'all known as?
Costume moms.
Costume moms?
But by now it's a costume grandma.
I've been doing it for almost 30 years.
I'll tell you what really makes it is when the kids see their costumes and the smiles when they get on their faces and the hugs we get. That's the best part.
LaPorte High School's musicals have become a time-honored tradition in this small town, one I took part in all 4 years of high school myself. Year after year, dedicated volunteers and former students return to the same special place, to a building that honors the woman who set all of this in motion more than half a century ago.
We are in the Sonja Angelo Theater. Sonja is my mother.
That's awesome.
And she's amazing. Yeah, she worked really hard, and it's nice to see it and to feel it. It feels like her.
Oh my gosh, Miss Angelo, she is a mother to everybody. You can walk in here and it doesn't matter if you're having a bad day or if you are on top of the world, like you see her smile, it's everything. My
mom is a force of nature. She is one of the most joyful people I've ever known. Anybody that knows her, you hear her laugh, and it's just like it warms your heart. She is very, very passionate about everything. She's passionate about her family, her friends, this program, her students.
Sonja Angelo, who we all affectionately call Miss A, staged the first LPHS musical in 1967.
We brought something out of the back for you.
She's been retired for years, but the passion she sparked is still very much here.
Oh, it's my rocking chair. I wondered what happened to it.
And thankfully, the rocking chair she directed from is too.
Life is great, and life is much better when you're sitting in here telling us stories and giving us all the details.
Oh, I can't tell you how glad I am to see that rocking chair.
Can I help you?
Yeah. JB, you look so good.
I'm so glad to see you. Now, this program has turned into a just absolute life-changing machine for a lot of kids.
I hope so.
And I say that even just getting emotional for myself, but how did it get to that?
I knew if I got in, I couldn't do it halfway. I'd have to do it my way, which was give a lot of my life and time to it. Every kid is important to me, and every kid feeling like they're contributing. I think we all need to be part of something bigger.
Miss A's greatest talent wasn't making good shows, although she definitely did. She mastered the fine art of making an impact, teaching life lessons through massive productions that touched many lives.
Working with other people, having to maybe not use your idea but compromise with somebody else's ideas. I think those are important lessons.
I think it allowed the students also to feel like it's okay to not know everything, and it's okay to fail as long as you're trying to figure out how to do it better next time.
We work very hard, and people say, why are you doing that? It's just high school. No, it's not just high school. These are people. These are my people. They need to know that they can accomplish something and they can be proud of it. I like a well-blended cast of a lot of different kinds of people. I don't like all of one kind of people. And I think our program grew because of that. It was accepted.
I look up there in our football team this year, you know, one district, and it's like almost the whole secondary is up there dancing for us. You know, the offensive line, you know, is up there, and it's like they're mic'd because they're some of the best singers.
Sound engineer Tim Honey was also once one of those students. His career as a professional theater tech took off right here. And every year, he too comes back to work on our hometown high school musical.
This is my 25th, 26th year that I've been involved in the musical. And I don't live here anymore. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And any job that I go work for or go do, I always tell whoever I'm working for, I need 2.5 weeks, end of January, beginning of February. I won't be here because I go back to Texas. I love it. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love coming back.
Tim in the booth, the parents backstage, and alumni cheering from the house all have one thing in common. We all come back because of Miss A.
What does that mean to you?
I love the people who have taken over the department. They're mine. They're my kids. And I feel like they're all my kids, whether I know them or they know me or not, because they've kept everything going and made me very proud.
Big, big shoes, very scary. And I feel like I'm trying really hard to keep the legacy going, and it feels good.
And I think God gave me that ability to work with young people, and I don't know why, but I thank Him every night for it. Because it's been the biggest thing in my life is working with young people and seeing them grow and accomplish what they want to accomplish. There couldn't be a better life in the world than what I've had. Y'all are the reason I did all this. It's all of y'all. Y'all were so wonderful.
Thank you.
You really were.
Getting teary-eyed thinking about it.
You really were wonderful, and you need to remember that and what you did for an old lady, because you did a lot for me.
Well, I love you.
I love you too, sweetie.
There's an old Greek proverb that says, society grows great when we plant trees whose shade we'll never sit under. Well, Miss A planted an entire orchard here in LaPorte, one that continues to bear fruit. This community, and certainly this reporter, are infinitely better off because of everything she gave us.
How can you not love Miss A? You see Miss A in all of us. Miss A is in Andrea. Miss A is in Janine, choreographer. Miss A is in me. Like, there's a little bit of Miss A in everybody because she invested into us. Even the kids that, and they might be a freshman or a senior and this is their first time in musical, but they know who Miss A is because it's in all of us and they see that.
You are just a part of so many people's lives. I mean, it is just unbelievable how many people feel so strongly about you.
I tried my best, that's all I can say. I tried my best.
It was pretty darn good. I'm sad to share that Miss Angelo, who put me on the path that led me here, passed away peacefully, surrounded by loved ones only 2 weeks ago. And it's one more reason I'm so thankful for this job. It gave me that opportunity to sit down and tell her how much she meant to me one last time, and to share her story with all of you. A story much like many that we'll tell this season as we continue on our journey down the back roads of Texas. So I look forward to next week when I hope you'll hop in and travel with me. My name is JB Sauceda, and this is Texas Country Reporter.